Yo, 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 yo. Happy 420, away we go. Love, power, and authority. Relinquish the spirit of fear. I was taking notes on how to get over the spirit of fear. That's always one of the things, maybe the thing, getting over the spirit of fear. We can all come together in that battle. Getting over the spirit of fear and leaning into the spirit of joy. I think when I was thinking about this, I heard some pastor talk about the spirit of joy being a really important warrior tool, so to speak. And you think of joy maybe a little differently than that. Like, I don't know, not cool or something. Joy, is joy cool? Is joy like when you think of a warrior, you don't think of a joyful spirit. Or at least this is me. I wouldn't. You think of like, I'm a warrior. But exuberance and joy as a real battle philosophy or way of dealing with fear. It's an interesting one. Just lean into joy. Love and power and authority. Relinquish the spirit of fear. The shout of joy and victory shall not depart from the tent of the righteous. That's in the Bible. The shout of joy and victory shall not depart from the tent of the righteous. So, meaning that if we're righteous, our joy and our victory, our shout of joy and victory, our proclamation of joy and victory won't be muted. So there is another one, whereas like you think of like trying to live somewhat sin-free or without sin is like not maybe first thing that comes to your mind when thinking of a badass warrior person, but indeed it is. The shout of joy and victory shall not depart from the tent of the righteous. The joy of the Lord is the strength of your spirit. Joy is strength. Joy is our protection. The joy of the Lord is the strength of your spirit. The opposite of fear, joy is our strength. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. And it's interesting because a lot of times when I'm afraid, I will sort of imagine God like helping me, or I'm praying like I'm like, you know, and I think you can turn to God and pray to God during those times of fear. But when you think of him not being pleased with it, and it is kind of like saying to God, like, I don't believe in you, you know? Because if you really believe, well, you're not going to be afraid, right? Fear does a dance on our mind when bad news comes down or when we imagine bad news coming down. Fear is a spirit and sees the way we react. Grant me the grace to reject fear and let me know the grace and the power of the Lord. Fear is a spirit, as is anger. Lately I've been viewing things as the observer of my thoughts, letting go of anger, forgiving everyone in my life, watching the spirit of anger leave, and finding moments of real peace, which inadvertently has led to fear, because in my peaceful state, I feel less the need to be driven to go so much. And so then my ego is kind of, I feel like dismantling, which is leading to fear. Like, oh no, what am I if I'm not doing something, if I'm not constantly productive? Will God really take care of me? Will life really see me through? So it's led to the spirit of fear, and that's my battle now. It's funny when we view what society pushes on us from a spiritual perspective, a spiritual and more abstract perspective, I suppose, or an energetic perspective. What it aims to defeat in us and what it aims to promote is telling. Imagine if the headlines in the papers and the news stations were 10 reasons to be full of joy and spiritual power. Yeah, it's not going to do that. 10 reasons to be full of joy and spiritual power. Yeah, it's not going to do that. It's going to tell us all the bad news. It's going to keep us afraid and out of our power. Being fearless is an incredible power. I asked ChatGPT, the AI, what it's 10. Here's what I put it prompt: 10 reasons to be full of joy and spiritual power. I said, give us 10 reasons. It says health, family and friends, nature, accomplishments, gratitude, laughter, music, creativity, learning, kindness. Those are the 10. All of those things are of God. It never says God, though. The thing is, 10 reasons to be full of joy and spiritual power. Number 1 is you're gonna get that through God. You're not getting that through your ego. Your ego is a fear machine and a killjoy. So what energy is left outside of your ego is the Spirit of God. The witness. Anyway, ChatGPT ignores that point, and it's interesting, it's telling. It says all the things that are of God, but it doesn't say, you better pray to the Lord. It doesn't say, stop identifying with your thoughts and identify as the witness who is beyond this drama that is called life on planet Earth. And then you can actually enjoy the drama from a detached perspective. A strange list because it leaves out God. It puts things that are of God, like music and laughter and health and everything else, on the list. But the Bible says, count it all joy, my brothers, when you meet trials of various kinds, for you know that the testing of your faith produces steadfastness. And let steadfastness have its full effect, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing. So, count it all joy, my brothers and sisters, when you meet trials, because that brings about steadfastness. So, looking at the trials in our lives as good things, because indeed, you know, it's like a training ground here for our souls. We're in training. And I suppose what AI says about joy, or its spiritual opposite, fear, is a reflection of how society views these things. It leaves out the spiritual component or doesn't name it directly, and that's problematic, because if we know what we are dealing with, a spirit, we are then better equipped to battle it with clear vision, with our eyes open in the ring, so to speak. If we take it as a psychological condition, if we call it depression, and try to medicate it, perhaps we aren't addressing the reality of our situation, which is we are souls or spirits having a human condition or a human experience, which is largely about spiritual forces battling for control of our will to overcome fear. Perhaps prayer, meditation, fasting, rebuking, promoting joy in the face of it, and faith will go further than swallowing a pill. This is why knowing the nature of the battle we are in is important. All right, well, so there you go. This has been the last lap. I hope it's not too windy. It probably is, but this GoPro camera sometimes is okay for that. Let's see, I think I wrote a poem about overcoming fear. This is all stuff I wrote a couple days ago. Fear causes bondage, faith helps us overcome. Fear is a spirit that wants us to hide or run. We battle it with joy, with power, and with grace. Fear is a spirit that makes a mask out of our face. Fear the ringleader, letting other demons in until we are paralyzed and know not how to begin. But joy is the answer, and the power of faith bringing us mercy, and the power of grace. We are spiritual fields, the battle plays on, good and evil, where shall we belong? The shout of joy won't depart from the righteous, and yet fear tries to make us all hopeless, holding us captive, tied up in the storm, focused on death while trying to be born. Joy in the spirit brings power to life. That is the battle, that is the fight, asking for grace when we are torn. Authorities touch, our strength is reborn. Count it all joy when you meet up with trials. Steadfastness and grace for thousands of miles, perhaps every last mile on your journey home. Fear just a slave long since dead and gone.